Hey.
Tell your mama. Hey, that.
Anagram.
Hey, run away. Going. Silly daddy. Go Granny. Catch me and catch me. Ha. Ooh. Okay. What? Whoa, whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look up there, bird. There's a bird. Look. Yeah. Let's go.
哎，你们能不能站在这里丢？站在这里好吗？这是他一直苦苦锻炼的资源，有什么东西都要丢。
这个。
喜欢的，就像我。差不多了，就开始拍了。
妈妈看吧，再看看，妈妈看吧，再看看。
Xe kìa. Con thấy xe con phải nép vô.
Này, look, that Olivia. Dada, wait for me. Go. 太能呀！
Не, можно порезать?
Я посмотрю. Thank you, Mama. Ha! Mommy, look what happened to you. No. Zombie.
To that extent. She's sang.
So cute.
I can look on this. I know. Yeah, this way. Take a picture for me. Mama, take it. More fish. much we need to go to, Mama?
Hmm.
Okay, this way. Don't be scared. Come on. Don't be. Mama, wait.
Mm.
Your shoe is red. Mama, your shoe is red.
Mm.
Your shoe is red. Your shoe is red. No.
Oh, it's black.
It's sick, you know.
Hmm?
Sick. You know. Insect tái đầm. Rắn thật.
Mama, no, Mama. Come back. Come back. No, go over there. Ha ha. Hee hee.
Don't.
Hee hee. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. help me. Don't do it. Wait for me. Mama, your shoe. Mama,
嗯
my shoe is dirty. Your shoe is dirty, Mama.
嗯
Mama. Wait for me.
嗯
Wait for me. Wait for me.
嗯
Wait for me. Wait for me. Wait for me. No. They can try them. Now that's it. Oh, what's 200? Now, for a baby. The mini duck, Mama. The mini duck.
嗯
Now we are dead. I don't want to take a picture, Dad.
Come on.
No. No. I don't want Mama, we're going another one water. We're another black water.
嗯
Be careful the black water. Go down, Mama.
嗯
No, no, this down the water. Mama, sit, Mama. Sit. Mama, sit. No, sit. Mama, sit right now. They can sit. They can. Ha. Ha ha. Quite the hot. Oh. Let's go another way. And this time we're going this way, okay? Yeah. Daddy, push me.
Có đau không? Có đau không?
Not hurting. Dad, push me down. Okay.
Papa don't do that. Papa giỡn mà con đâu có sao đâu.
No, Dad, push me again.
Papa giỡn mà Papa thương Papa giỡn.
No, Dad, push me. No, Dad, push me. Push me again.
Okay, go around that side.
That's me. Dad. Who upset you, Mom?
Okay, you can go around that side. You're doing your time space.
Remember it. Ah.
On that. Yep, nice. Okay, good. Yeah, you clear? Go. You can do it. You can do it. You can. Keep the handlebar straight and you'll do it. Keep your handlebar straight, you'll do it. Okay, you want to ride now? Okay, we're going to ride up to... How far is that going there? So...
Come on, darling.
Okay, pass it on your right.